Okay, so you know what, y'all? I'm Chaunee Luv with the Real Voice LA, and we here today with Constantine. Y'all been promoting him for about a month now. He finally reached out to me. He's a busy man, I heard. So let's get right into it. Y'all are a bunch of great looking folks here. So Constantine, where are you right now, sir? Where?
I'm actually here in I think this is between Beverly Hills and Hollywood. I could
Oh,
be
okay.
wrong. Um, so I'm here. I was actually just getting my hair done not too long ago. It looked a little quite different than it did earlier. Um, it's a bit mismatched. So
It's
that's why I'm
looking
here.
good. You said you got it done?
Yeah, just very just I told the stylist, I was like, we gotta wrap it up. I gotta get out of here. So, you know,
Well, she wrapped it up good. Like, it looks good.
It's cool.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
So
thank you for
so
having
let
me
let's
on.
just start off with you then. Tell the folks who you are, Constantine. Let us
Yeah,
know that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, my name is Constantine Lapping, and I have been in the industry since I was 15 years old. And I've worked in I've on TV a lot of times. I've worked in modeling for a very long time, and now I am doing directing and show development. So that's what I'm doing currently at this time. I'm also a pretty sizable content creator with I think over 1 million fans worldwide as we speak. So
Okay. That's pretty dope. I'm just so glad you came on here today. Let's just go around town and figure out who everybody is. So let's just go backwards. Time, Nick.
That is
Tell us
me,
about
yes.
yourself, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm originally from Arizona, so one state over. Moved out here about a year ago. I just have a passion for acting, writing, everything with that. It's been a joy working with Constantine and everyone on the cast with this project. So just trying to get as involved as I can. I really like staying busy, so this project definitely enables me to.
Oh, that's great. So where are you from?
I'm originally from Phoenix.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
All right, so America,
that's right.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just the neighboring state.
Okay.
Took a little walk.
So next, Brian Bach.
Yes, ma'am. So again, I'm Brian. I've actually it's funny. I've actually spent the last 20 years kind of getting to where I am, which is now I would call myself like an up and coming burgeoning actor. I spent like from my 20s until now kind of working my way through school and part-time jobs, figuring out that I was better in front of the camera doing like acting and just letting my energy flow out rather than doing like photography, visual effects and stuff like that. I still can do that. I was trained in that, but I figured out that that's like acting, modeling, whatever, performing is what fires me up much more. So the way this actually started is I met Constantine through a mutual friend and who is also a cast member on the show, and who we also were doing the content creation with. And things kind of took off from there when we started filming, and then that's how it kind of segued into the show that we do now. And it's like I was just frankly blessed enough to be on this team and be like, this is what's taking it off for me. And I couldn't feel more fortunate to be having this opportunity with everybody. As I'm looking at this being potentially my segue into the business. I mean, along with other kind of avenues and activities. So this is really what it's all about for me.
And
Like
that's
my
what it
intensity comes
takes.
out. Yeah, my
That's
intensity comes
actually
out.
passion is the first key thing.
Yeah, my intensity comes out, and I always find like people have to kind of tone it, tell me to tone it down a bit because my energy comes out, and then it's like, okay, this is great, so let's kind of take it down from there. But
Right.
I'm loving it. I got a great team, and this is a great project we're doing. So
So where are you from?
I'm born and bred Los Angeles. I was actually born in Panorama City here,
Okay.
and moved around a little bit since childhood. I lived up in Lancaster, up in the high desert, from about the early '90s until 2012, which is when I moved back to Los Angeles. Um, I was going through visual effects school, specifically a school called Noman School of Visual Effects, back when their campus was in West Hollywood. I did that for 3 years, got a certificate, and that's kind of where I found out this has been cool, and I enjoyed the journey, but it's like I might be a little more suited for in front of the camera work.
Yeah.
And I got my degree. I'm working part time, and that's kind of where that turn for life came for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally understand because, man, the way I would have never thought I would have be doing a podcast. It just
Oh
works out
yeah, I
like
mean the stuff that we're involved in, it's like I would have I would have never seen that coming,
that. But
just a
that's
few years
how it
ago.
happens. It's
I know
just
it
like
just
that. And that's when you know it's real and it's something that you should keep pursuing. So let's go down to Sire. Sir, let us know who you are. Go ahead with the fly
Well,
hat on. Let's go. Let's.
yeah, the reason I'm in the car is because just speaking of Phoenix, I'm just driving back from there,
oh
and
cool.
so I'm from Indiana. I grew up in Indiana, and I started in children's theater, and came out here after I graduated from high school and pursuing a singing acting career. I'm also a recording artist. I was doing pretty well with that until everything turned into streaming. So now I make a half a penny, for every song that I do.
That was a
But
rough period. A
yes,
very rough period.
yes. So I went and leaned more towards my acting, and I've been on two TV series, and I've been just, was so happy that my dear friend Constantine asked me to be part of the project he's doing, and I'm looking forward to see how it comes out.
I'm looking for it, and I really want to know how all of y'all fit into this. Like, let let me know exactly. Let the people, my audience, y'all audience, let everybody know specifically because I'm sure they have questions.
Well, I'm friends
Let
with
us
his
know.
I'm friends with his manager, and she sent me a text, I don't know, it's like somehow I missed it. It had been sitting in my box for I don't know how long, and she was telling me about Constantine and how we should work together. And finally, we ended up meeting, and we just totally hit it off. And he came to my Buddhist meeting, and he started chanting, and all of a sudden things start turning around, and here we are. He calls me up and say, "Come and come and be a part of this," and I was right
Well, where
there.
are we? Because, like, tell us what you guys are doing. Like, I want to.
Yeah, so yeah, no, he's right. He did call I did get in contact with Saya, and we kicked it off quite well. And my first immediate thought, I was like, man, okay, this like I want to work with this person. I want to do something, with this person, but not just him, but with everyone around me. And so I began to gather this team of people. It started off with believe it or not, three people, four people, I'm sorry. It started off with four people, and then it grew substantially. Like it started just growing overnight, like flowers, and that full 10 to 10, and that 10 turned to 20, and that 20 turned to 30, and now we're at 60, people working on the project from here, from America, all the way to the United
Wow.
Kingdom. I've gathered 60, I guess you could say, knuckleheads. to believe in a joint vision, 60 of them. And, that's a very powerful thing. Well, you got, 60 people that are listening to you and willing to be a part of, your vision, because this is something I thought of, literally 8 years ago. This wasn't something I just like randomly thought of and like spontaneously done. This entire story is derived from something I've written 8 years ago when I first came to California. I thought about this story. So, and it was called The Awakening at the time. And at the time, I didn't know how I would translate it to others to understand it, other than myself. And I was like looking
Okay.
at ways of like, do I make content out of it? Do I make it into a manga, like an anime? Like, do I make it into a cartoon? And so I always randomized it, the thought of like what to do. And then I realized that, I have a lot of resources. Why don't I just do a yellow, take a chance and create a TV show out of it, like create cinema out of it. Like, why not? If other people can do it, why can't I?
Hmm.
And, with that being said, I looked around me and I was like, I had these really good people around me, like people I had just met and, people that wanted to support it. And I wanted to take this opportunity to like lift up everyone else around me, not just myself, because it's easy to do that for yourself, but it's more harder to lift off everyone around you, but it's easier if everyone's on the same page. And so far, everyone's been on the same page. I haven't lost any talent. I haven't lost any, you know, uh, cast or crew members. Everyone's still coherent. It's been almost 3 months now, and I haven't lost anyone. If anything, I keep gaining. I'm gaining over and over again.
Because it sounds
And
like you're a good boss. You sound like you're a very reasonable man. Like if
I
He's good to work with.
you trying to lift up everybody, okay, Atlas. You know what? That, right. All superheroes don't wear capes, but you do. So let's talk about that. So basically, these skits that you do, kind of describe those skits that you do. Like,
yeah, honestly, they're a lot of shenanigans, if I be honest. I write a lot of them when I'm really high. I'm not gonna lie there.
Yeah,
I
I can
think I
vouch
think
for
my
that.
Brian has a saying for that. Brian, you can tell him to say that.
Oh, like it depends on what he's cooking or something like that.
Yeah, well, basically, every character is a version of me of how high I am, basically. Every,
Including me
uh,
in some ways.
yeah. Every character that I've come up with from content to the TV series is a character that I sat there and I smoked a lot and then I came up with a character. I tell Brian, I go, your character took two blunts, you know. I tell,
That's a
Sia's
step,
character
yeah.
took one. I think Tom's took like one and a half. Like I count how much I smoke before I create their character. Annabelle's character took five, actually. That was a very difficult character to create. But yeah, so and so like the content is just a lot of like stuff I just kind of like write out and I use that. So I want to make this clear. Content was never like a something I really wanted to do. I use it as a test subject to ready myself to create cinema because I figure if I can't make content, then I can't make cinema because making content to the scale that we do it at, we have lighting, we have proper cameras, we have, we do casting calls, we do the whole 9 yards like you would for
Right,
a very small scale production. So I figure if I can't do a small scale production, then I can't do a full scale production.
right.
So that's where the content, derived from. It was basically me going, all right. can I do this or not? And it was always getting prepared for this type of moment where I can create something, for the cinema
Right.
and something that can translate to television, something commercially valuable. So, uh,
And
Yeah,
here we
most of
are.
the I should add, like, just to piggyback off of what Constantine is saying, most of the content that we had been doing up to this point when the show started getting on a roll and with momentum were basically like video anthologies, like little
yeah,
shenanigans. We started off with, we pretty much started off. I jumped on board just after, a little bit after Constantine and our other cast member, the guy that his audience knows as Grim or Red with the skull mask. So they were doing it for a bit, and then that's when I jumped on board, and we were doing a little bit of filming in like Hollywood, and that's when it kind of took off. And so shenanigans ramped up between with what he wrote, a little bit of ideas that I put in, and our other guy put in, and randomly it just kind of took off from there to see, hey, who else can we bring in? Who else is available? And then it just kind of grew from there between like the network we were building, and the vision he had, and just kind of how the audience base was growing from there, and just it literally started to, as Constantine said, snowball.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
definitely,
so
definitely a snowball.
Snowball,
Snowball.
growing. It sounds like you guys are at a level where you can definitely be influential.
Yeah.
So, I
we're
mean,
And
trying.
I have
It's
to
a labor of
say,
love. You know.
yeah,
I
because
have to say,
if your team
oh,
is
sorry.
you have a team of 60 people,
Yeah.
that's quite a bit. And
It,
but you know what? It sounds like right. You didn't necessarily need 60 people, but everybody, and that's how it is. Like that's how creatives do. You have to pull people in that you feel like fit a piece of the puzzle, you know,
yeah.
and you can't restrict it because once you restrict it, then you might lose out on something.
It's a team effort. It's very much collaborative, and a team effort, and a labor of love. So
And
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say is that I didn't add earlier is that how much I enjoyed uh, working with this cast and crew. Everybody was so cool and supportive and fun, and we had fun. We made jokes and we laughed, and we were working in the cold rain, shooting outside in the cold rain, and it still was fun.
Yeah.
be there. Exactly. You have to be passionate about it. You have to have good energy and it'll just come together. So, how long have you guys been knowing each other? You say, oh well, actually, how long have you been really intense in the project, like productions? How long has productions?
Oh my days.
yeah,
I think it's been about going on and together collectively about 4 months now. Now, in between that 4 months, people, dipped into the picture. For instance, Saya's character and his involvement, I believe, was not even a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
Even Tom's, I think Tom's was about the same time.
yeah.
But a lot of everyone else, we've been working for 4 months, and that was just pre-production, just getting an idea, you know.
Oh, okay. So, what stage are you in now?
We're in production. We're
You're
comfortably
still
in
in
production.
production? Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
where can the people like what? So where are they going to be able to locate the
Well,
whole
so right now, I
cinema?
should add, our current, like the bulk of our content that's been visible has still been on the Keeping Up with the Crypt Keepers Instagram page, and of course on each of our respective social media pages. Constantine, Dusklord Constantine on Instagram, and my Instagram page, BlackJackal69. I'm in pretty
Okay.
much all of.
69.
Yeah, but I'm in
That's a good
all the
number,
videos
actually.
as of late. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's my zodiac sign anyway. The six
That's
nine
my zodiac
is
sign too. That's a good number.
Cancer.
Yeah,
Yep,
Cancer right here.
yep,
Yep.
yep.
What?
Big
Oh,
So
when's your
wicked.
birthday?
Oh, June 27th.
Okay, well, I'm a July
So,
Cancer. I'm July 21st.
Hey, me too.
so
I'm July 14th.
Oh,
oh,
see,
look at that.
hey now.
We got some
Oh my
cancers.
Answers.
goodness.
Cool.
Exactly.
I surrounded
So,
myself with
but yeah,
answers.
so, to answer your question, yeah, most of the content is visible on Constantine's Instagram page and of course on mine. And we have the Keeping Up with the Crypt Keepers, which that Instagram page shows also a lot of anthologies, but the ones that we're kind of ramping up to the show that we're currently in production on, and that the social media for that we've had our new
Oh,
social media manager
wait,
do stuff for
wait,
that.
wait. Um, so let's make so. I do want to, formally, now that, he's brought that up, very formal, but I want to say that I am going to announce the proper name for the television show. It is not Keeping Up with the Crypt Keepers. That is, like he stated, is an anthology series. It is based on this television show, but it is not, I don't want to say, coherent or follows any storyline of the show. The show is actually a horror. It's a suspense horror, no comedy elements in it at all. And it's going in the show is called Legacy of the Crypt, The Awakening. So I have not announced that name publicly at this time
And
for the
we
first
needed
time.
drum rolls. Okay.
So this is the first time I'm announcing that name publicly, Legacy of the Crypt Awakening. And because it is a series that will have other series involved in it. And let me specify what I'm talking about. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a universe and kind of like a Game of Thrones, where House of the Dragon will be the first, Game of Thrones will be the middle, and whatever comes afterwards will be the last. Legacy of the Crypt Awakening is the middle. It's the middle of the story. It's not the beginning of the story. It is the flat dead in the middle of it. And what I'm trying to do is do a I guess you could say inspiration from Star Wars, where you kind of film backwards until you get the budget to film forwards. So you
Hey,
know,
I love Star Wars. But yeah. Okay, so basically, I gotta find out how everybody fits into the puzzle. So Tom, Nick,
Yeah, to start, I'm very
let's get
appropriately
you in
named.
here.
Yeah, my character in this series is very appropriately named. My name is Dr. Thomas Lynch. So I am Dr. Lynch. I'm a doctor who has two faces, essentially. I'm very self-interested. I do a lot of things simply because I'm getting a paycheck. So I'm cold, calculated, and essentially a mercenary, if one may say.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I
yeah.
do what I want. As usual, in real life too.
In real life, you do whatever you want. Is that what you're saying?
I do what I want. That's right.
We all gotta do what we want,
That's
in
Yeah,
right.
order to
Life
get
is
to
too
where
short.
we need to be. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
amen to that.
We're all keeping busy through this, that's for sure.
yeah. I really, when I created Tom's character, I needed someone to be the gap bridge in between, the story, because the story follows a supernatural like lineage, but also has a lot of practicality, like real world scenarios and mental health aspects. And I needed a character that can bridge that gap between both of them. And so I thought that whilst, on my second, um going through, smoking, and I was sitting on a balcony actually when I came up with this character. And I was looking out towards the I was in a balcony, I was in a house, I think it was in Sherman Oaks up here in California. I was looking out on the balcony. I was like, how can I create a character that can merge the gap between the practical world and the supernatural? Somebody that's very self-interest, that it can be morally flexible. One day he could be a good guy, one day he can probably be a bad guy. Right now he's a bad guy, but like, who can I create like that? And then I came up with this character, Thomas Lynch. At first, I was going to make him an entirely bad guy, just cutthroat and but I didn't go with that, and I'm glad I didn't because when we casted Tom for it, the producer, Tim Will, casted Tom, and he showed up to set. Tom did this one thing, and there's one thing only that captured me. This guy smiled. I did you not? He smiled, and I looked at him. And I was like, that smells insane. I was like, that smells insane. He had to play a double standard character. Like, I was like, that
Yeah, I
smile
could
is
see
very
it.
inviting. Yeah, he's a very inviting smile. And I was like, he has to play a he has to play a double standard character. Like, he has to smile to your face and stab you in the back. Like, this has to happen. Because
Yeah, because
I was just,
those June cancers, they're closer to Gemini.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So so yeah, no, perfect. That actually. So what about your character, Brian? Like
Yeah, so mine, man, I'm just thinking
so, so,
when
right. I
I'll
don't
let
want to set
Constantine
Brian
lead
up
with
for
that.
failure
Yeah,
right now. I don't want to say because a lot of his character has to do with part one of the series. But I will let Brian say what he knows so far about his character. I'll be honest, his character is the least Thomas Lynch's character is more flushed out than Brian's is at the moment. But on paper, let's just say that.
yeah,
But Brian's character is how do I say this? So in this story, there are people who are immortal characters, kind of like Sire's character, they're immortal. And then there's characters who are half immortal. Brian's character plays a half immortal person. And now I'll let Brian talk the rest of it.
yeah. So this is kind of going back to where we first started with our anthology shenanigans, which is that I started off as like my own version of the vampire hunter, except one that hunts all the undead, right? Monsters in general. And so I kind of, in my own head, just developed that into this sort of I don't want to do I don't want to risk like IP infringement or anything, but like I sort of developed it in my own head into something that's like a cross between the vampire hunter, a Viking, and sort of a barbarian like Ghost Rider type character. So
oh,
like a
okay.
like a part evil, part good, but then sort of like an anti-hero, sorcerer, shaman, barbarian type character, a whole mishmash of
Yeah.
different personalities and energies that I used to kind of pitch my own vision to Constantine. Just a quick paragraph that I wrote out, just loaded with all sorts of over the top intense action in it. And so he took that and took the appropriate elements of it for what would work for the scope of our show, and then just put that into what we have as the character, which is now effectively one that sort of like a monster hunter, a shaman, like a healer, but one that has a lot of inner demons that he's dealing with from his past. So he's trying to be a good guy, but for the moments that will really take some of the sort of heavy artillery, so to speak, you get the sense that, oh man, like this guy's got some stuff going on. Like he's got some really bad stuff that he's fighting within himself. And when that comes out, like, oh my God, like this is, think about the Ghost Rider type reveal. Like when you see it happening, it's like the audience is going to be going like, oh, holy crap, like what is going on here? And I mean, I get
You
goosebumps
do
just
kind of
thinking
look
about it.
like Nicolas Cage, though.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, but now
And you have the budgets.
I'll just say for the record, my inspiration there, it's partly Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, but I mean obviously Blade, 1998's Blade is a huge inspiration for me, but also Jason
And
Momoa's.
shout outs to Nicolas Cage. That's one of my favorite
Oh
actors.
yeah, shout out to Nicolas Cage. But I will say in particular, in developing my kind of character with this mishmash of energies, Jason Momoa's Conan the Barbarian was a huge inspiration
Oh, and that's
for me.
my
Not
other
just, I
one.
mean,
Oh my God.
I enjoyed the movie. You know, people will have their opinions on that. I love the movie, but his acting in that.
Oh
Um,
my God. Did you see that I mean I was waiting on pins and needles for that. The new episodes too. I can't remember, it's been so long, but he has a show on Apple TV that's, oh my gosh, it's so great. It is a good, I forget what the name of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't checked too much of that out in all honesty, but yeah, just I mean, for me, the intensity that Momoa exuded, the fire that he displayed in his interpretation of you know, Conan the Barbarian. There were particular instances in that movie that just really stuck out to me, and so I took that in my own head into a. I kind of tried to take that energy in more of a supernatural direction and something that, you know, I could really just with the right tools and the right you know, methods of production and all that, just take over the top. So, you know, however much of that enters into the show, people stay tuned in. You'll see.
Yeah, and this guy did give me a character synopsis that was quite long. It had some very interesting elements into it, like you mentioned. Um, Unfortunately, none of us will be able to use, but I did, keep the integrity of what he wanted in his character of personality, like intact, and
Wow.
you know, um, but like he did have a lot of stuff going into there. And I think when I look at Brian's character, you know, I see him, he's this guy, he's troubled, he has a lot of things in his past, and he's supposed to be the representation of like a struggling person, somebody that just, imagine if like, because in character, his wife, he has to kill his wife, in one of the scenes,
Wow.
spoiler alert, there. But like, with that being
Shoot,
said,
that's a good
imagine,
spoiler alert.
yeah, imagine, there won't be any more spoilers outside of that.
Okay. Yeah, because that
But
was enough. I'm sure everybody's
yeah,
gonna be watching. Probably they're gonna be like, "Oh, shoot, let me watch that as soon as possible."
It
So,
gets pretty intense. I'll just say that.
yeah, so he does. It's very intense. He's a very emotional person, and he's really to show the audience is that you know people have hard times after dealing with something like that, especially a mistake. It wasn't intentional. This was more like something he had to do because she was unfortunately due to plot was he had to do it due to plot sake. And when people watch the reason why he had to do it, they understand. They
well,
understand.
everybody loves a good movie that there's love and sacrifice at the same time. Like
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
and
Put that in there.
yeah. He made the ultimate sacrifice, and he had to pay the price emotionally because the series ultimately is about mental illness and how things around us affect our mental status, and that is the premise of the show. So it's a show about mental health. It's a show about paying attention to those with mental health, and understanding them, and understanding that everybody has something going on, but also understanding that the
Right.
world is much bigger than what you think. Like
Hmm.
the supernatural does exist, you know and
Right.
these people, they're going throughout the show trying to understand that.
Hmm.
There's skeptics, like Thomas Lynch's character, who's curious, on the supernatural. And then there's people like Orpheus's character, played by Sire, who's fully endowed into it, fully endowed into that supernatural. So,
Well, let's talk about his character, Orpheus. Now, that's a really famous name there. What kind of character are you playing?
Um, I would just only can say it's kind of a bit of a typecast where I would play something of some kind of god, some kind of king, some kind of like whatever. and he would have to tell you the details of what this character
Oh
is.
wow.
Yeah. Orpheus, he plays he's a former doctor, and his character pretty much is in line with my character. And he's the employer of Thomas Lynch, well, part of the organization of Calabasas Hospital, which is a hospital within the universe of Legacy of the Crypt that is I'm sorry, that produced this prenatal vitamin that pretty much was giving people side effects of schizophrenia. But what makes this Orpheus's character so compelling is that his character is very endowed into the occult. And with this, they did some ritualistic magic and stuff, and his character became immortal, unable to die, and I guess you can say fully unable to live, because these immortal characters, they come with a drawback, and they thirst for essence for blood, and so it is a sense of almost a sense of a vampire, but not really, because they can go out in the sunlight still. It's just they get impulses to kill. They get impulses to do like heinous acts to like get the blood out of a person. So you can say they're professional serial killers to a sense, who are immortal, who don't need blood to survive, but do it because they are cursed to do. So he's a very complex character. He plays a very important pivotal role to part one of the series, whenever we get that sorted. But yeah, very, very important, very intimidating character.
So who wants to take a shot at this loaded question? The preparation for these characters. Okay. Because we have seen, some pretty famous people get lost in the sauce, sometimes. Because these characters that you guys have are pretty strong. Um, is
Well,
it a lot of preparation to do these
yeah.
characters?
Um, I mean, I'll just say I'll just leave with, but like my character, I mean, obviously it's something that I came up with, very organically over time, and like the emotion that I'll say that I put into it when it comes to actually performing in those really intense scenes. I mean, I have to, of course, draw on uh, I won't say some traumatic, but I'll just say some very personally sensitive childhood stuff. And then when that happens, I get electrified and the waterworks just start going, and then from there, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know who coined this phrase, but good acting isn't actually acting. So, and that's the standard I hold. I mean, you can call it method, but like personally, when I go into that, it's like this is real. I mean, we're not acting. This is real, and it's like, guys, you you might want to have some kind of a safety protocol in place because, and this has happened before.
Right, bump the
I'm gonna bump my head or cut something or bruise something or probably hurt
bed.
myself in some way, and I don't care. Like it's gonna happen. Just be prepared. And if you're going at me or like we're having a little tussle or something, don't hold back. I mean, I don't want you guys to get hurt, but if I get hurt, I mean, that's the way it goes. This is real. We're getting into it, so just do it. If you're
Yeah,
scared, get
for
past it.
real.
Just do it.
Yeah. Because
So
right, and I can see that a lot of these characters very cathartic. Yeah, because you know
oh,
what?
it's
Bravo, Constantine, because
I mean, it's almost ritualistic
you
for me.
you
I'll say.
you combine mental health and and that's very admirable because a lot of us struggle, you know,
Yeah.
especially Brian, you hit a point, right? Trauma,
Mhm.
trauma definitely can you know can actually give the best results to creative situations, and right. Yeah.
I know that I really enjoyed just, as far as you said, I'm trying to answer your question about preparing for the role, and I only could go by his description of what the role was, and I just did my best to show up as that. Unfortunately, my scene was with him, so he was directing me right then and there. So therefore, he and I both just clicked into those characters and just did the damn thing and put our coats on and ran back down the hill.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
smooth. That was smooth.
Well, you know what? I don't want to sit up here and neglect the person that did jump on. Is another person on here now? That I see someone. Could you introduce yourself, Raven Raven?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
There it is.
Hi, I'm not. I'm in a very lit place, but keep it brief. My name's Raven, and I'm one of the producers for Crypto's Awakening.
Okay. So one of the producers. Okay. Well, nice to have you on my platform today. I'm Chaunee
Yeah.
Luv with the Real Voice of LA, and we're here with Constantine and a great team here. Of people that, because I ain't gonna lie to you, like from the skits, I was like, dang, what did I get myself into?
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit. They are a bit
So,
mental.
you,
I always say to our newcomers, "Welcome to the freak show."
Yeah, you know, um, to hark back on the discussion about like mental health and stuff. I really think this day and age, as we get more like processed foods in our dietary, and we're surrounded and we're overstimulated by this 2000, this 20th century worth of living. We got all these distractions, like ADHD, autism, like all these like conditions are on the rise, which was never the case back in the day.
yeah.
And I wanted the show to reflect, the reflect that change in, society, in real time.
Right.
So a
And
lot
not
of our,
make it a crutch. Not
yeah,
make it a crutch. Because most of us, that's why I said, and right, Chaunee Luv used to work in the mental health.
yeah,
I actually used to therapize families, So trip on this, yeah. Um, that's why, man, this was an affirmation for me today too. Because like
yeah,
for real, mental health is serious, but at the same time, we gotta embrace it and work with it and stop making each other feel like we can't be functional most of the time. Like, and I'm saying we because I'm not. And right. I'm not trying to sit up here and say that I'm crazy, but if I am crazy, and I just don't want to get on. And for all the PCers, okay, I didn't mean to say crazy, but at the same time, quote unquote crazy, because I fit on some spectrums because I had trauma in my life too. So, but in order for me, because, to function, I have to be real with myself and real with what I went through, as
yeah,
well as, understand that, I don't need to feel bad or be judged and worry about any of that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot
yeah,
of what goes on, I feel like I mean, of course, learning to cope with and learning to manage, your own mental health issues or lack thereof, whatever you have, and also to whatever extent you can turn them into a strength, like whatever those things are that are weighing you down.
hmm
When you have weights strapped to you, what do? Motor on through it, and you're defying that setback, and it's making you stronger as you push on. And what I will also add to that is, in my meanderings, I've met some younger people, some older that of course they have their mental health issues, and they're some of them are a little more self-conscious than others. And I'll say, you know what, the best of us are a little weird. Embrace it. Own it.
a
We're all a
lot of
little crazy, actually, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, we can't sit up there. We got to just keep going, keep moving, and functioning through. That's it, you know,
Yeah.
and
And
not use it as crutches, to not
Yep.
do X, Y, and Z.
yeah.
Look at y'all. I mean, not saying that you're. I'm just saying. Uh, the disclaimer is, I said all of us are a little crazy, but you got to be a little crazy to be a creative at the same time. This
Yeah.
is the very passionate
There's no artist without a
thing.
little bit of madness. I don't know who said that, but it's
I read
you
it on
know.
a cereal box somewhere. I know somewhere.
Well, they say the better the artist, the more, more disturbed or mad, more
Exactly.
madness they
Yep.
have.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it
Uh,
is what it is, but at the same time, you know, it's called the world embraces it. We definitely, definitely become very influential at the end of the day, and that's
yeah,
what it boils down to. It's called right. It's nothing wrong with being slightly on spectrums of, you know, bipolar, uh,
Well,
yeah,
coming from someone
borderline,
who is both on the spectrum, I mean, having
schizophrenic.
yeah, well, I'll say for myself, having high functioning autism, which I was diagnosed at 36 with, and far earlier in childhood, having been diagnosed with ADHD. So, as they say in the medical field, comorbidity of those conditions, it makes for an interesting mix. It's not always easy to manage or to sort through, but I mean, I always like to say experience is the best teacher. So
And that's
yeah,
it, because
use that.
sometimes I've come across people that I wasn't working with that I knew they were misdiagnosed. Sometimes that happens too.
Yeah.
Um, and that's not the end of the world, because I have a family member now that, right, she was misdiagnosed, but she didn't let that stop her. Okay. And, right, she has a family member that she can talk to and understand what's going on. Because sometimes, right, those diagnoses can be, there could be a misdiagnosis. So, but, and then,
yeah. And that is a very pivotal point right there that correlates to the show because the main character, the few of the main characters do suffer from dramatic mental illness. I'm not going to reveal that mental illness because it pertains heavily to the plot. But like the the nooks of it is that sometimes instead of diagnosing someone, you should listen to them. Before you put them on the
exactly.
medicine, you should understand them, because what you think they might have, they might not have at all.
Mhm.
And you're literally just medicating a person because you don't want to hear them out. You don't want to understand them. So,
Right.
that is like kind of, and that's what our main character, Annabelle, suffers with, is that, her character goes around the world, of this universe that I've created. And, she is very, very misunderstood, but also very troubled as well. She's a very troubled person, and she's haunted by literal and what's the proper word I'm looking for? Non-factual demons. She's haunted, by both aspects, and part of her just needs to be understood, and no one is there to give her that proper understanding. And that is Annabelle, the main character, and her brother and her both suffer. Aaron, which plays her brother, suffer from the exact same thing. Just Annabelle's is a bit more severe. And so as Brian's character, suffers from it a bit, within character. Um, Cyrus is actually perfectly normal. He's just a very evil character. Sorry, Cyrus.
Okay.
Your characters is very evil.
Well, I
Um,
guess all the excuse me, all the characters are somewhat evil to a certain extent, but I'm
Yeah.
very intrigued with Bri Brian's character. That and Brian, kudos to you, because man, having that many personalities, wow. That
I mean, I try to manage it, and I always joke like this is, acting is the most viable way to bring it out legally, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that it's very
Yeah.
I know it's cathartic. You can get all that stuff like that. That's
yeah. I
amazing.
mean, it's more than cathartic. Like not every scene, of course, is the most intense, but for the ones that really are, I mean, I can say it's cathartic, but it's actually almost more. It's deeper than that for me. It's almost more ritualistic bringing it out actually, because like sometimes, I've been on set and they're going to tell me what I need to do, and they only need to provide so much direction, and I'm going into myself, getting in the character, and probably sweating profusely in whatever I'm wearing, and then when I finally get it out, I mean, there's a certain percent chance that I'm going to end up hurting myself, and doing whatever it is that I'm doing. But then it's like I have to take a few minutes after that to kind of de-escalate and come down from that mental state. And our lead actress, I mean, she was like, okay, yeah, you need a minute, because in this one scene I was doing where again the waterworks were going, it's like I found myself just laughing like a madman. It's like I don't even know where this is coming from, but it's like, oh god, I got to just walk this out and literally recover. it's it gets intense. I mean, I almost go into a separate mental state, a separate, I don't know if it's different state of consciousness, but yeah, it's you'll see.
Well, just don't beat yourself up.
Oh, I already do that,
Just
but that's the best part. I embrace it. I
literally
do though.
but don't beat yourself up, okay? Just know
Yeah.
that you're human, because that character that played Jeffrey Dahmer, I heard he got lost in the sauce. So,
You can get lost in it. Yeah, if
definitely.
it's every actor's self responsibility to be able to manage that and to be able to come back from it. Which, I mean, I've learned just so much about it. This is kind of my, sort of my first segue into serious acting like this. But yeah, I mean, everybody's got to find their own way to kind of manage that equilibrium and come back from
And all
it.
that means that this is a really fucking good cinema here. So you know what? Shout outs to y'all.
Well,
You made
here's
some.
like I said, we're working with a great team, so.
Yeah.
You're right. Shout outs to y'all. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this, like, if y'all wanna let folks know about any upcoming projects or anything. And I did
Uh,
see the last post, right? You have a masquerade come about to
yeah, so we do have the casting crew, some of them are going to be at Endless Night Vampire Ball coming up this February 15th. You can go there and like take pictures with the casting crew. And yeah, for people that are familiar, this would be the Keeping Up with the Crypt Keepers casting crew, which is a different casting crew from Legacy of the Crypt. Two separate different things, two separate different shows. But the keeping, it's a tongue twister. I created this word and I sometimes hate it. Keeping Up with the Crypt Keepers casting crew will be at Endless Night, February 15th.
Belasco Theater.
Yeah, the Belasco Theater. And as for upcoming projects pertaining to cinemas, we have some really cool things coming down the works. Once we're done with this pilot episode of Legacy of the Crypt Awakening, we have some really amazing things that some like future projects that myself and Tim Will and Tom Nick are going to be working on. I'm looking forward to sharing that information when that information is able to be provided. But for now, we're full force to Legacy of the Crypt, And you'll be hearing more about it, as time goes on, as we enter post-production, hopefully soon. And yeah, just looking forward to sharing it and like, sharing more about the characters and getting people really immersed, like with the characters and with the world that, we're trying to build out, and hopefully everyone likes it.
Have you thought about any festivals that
Oh, festivals. I don't know, guys. You guys want to go to a festival?
Why not? Let's
Sure,
do
any
it.
film
sure.
festivals are you gonna submit or anything like
Uh,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it'd be a small thing. And I work with the production team, T Raven and Tim Will, Daniel, and we all work on, trying to get something into, one of the festivals. I think that is something that is quite achievable, so
Yeah, it really
Yeah, we'd
is.
love to.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Well, let me know. Keep me posted. Um, just wanted to tell you I'm so happy y'all came on here today. And I'm just quite stoked that this isn't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Woo! I mean, because those skits, woo, you guys definitely keep the interest. Trust me, because I definitely wanted to get to the bottom of it. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, we try. His writing is full of surprises, and half the time, I mean, I'll say sometimes when we as the actors or whatever come in, sometimes we're not entirely sure exactly what
You guys were really
what
taking those
what we're going to end up
characters
shooting.
in
Like depends on
stride.
who shows up, what circumstances are working out or not. Then sometimes we have one thing planned, and okay, things get a little topsy turvy, and okay, oh let's do this
That's
instead.
how
But then,
believable. That's how. That's
Yeah,
how
it is.
believable those characters you guys do. They're really believable. Like I was just like, whoa.
yeah, we try. Oh, hope hope people enjoy it and continue to enjoy it.
But round of applause, y'all. I need to I didn't have my sound person say, but
Uh,
round,
make loud clapping
round
noises.
of
Yeah, I
applause.
know.
Loud
I don't want to
clapping
clip
noises.
your I don't want to clip your sound system
Round,
there.
y'all can give me a round of applause. Like round of applause.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much. I feel blessed y'all came on my show today. I hope you feel blessed that y'all came on my show today. And definitely keep me posted. Once again, this is Chaunee Luv with the Real Voice of LA. And we heard it, y'all. We heard the real deal today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thank you.
I
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
I'm gonna be in touch, Constantine and Emerald. And I hope all of y'all follow me too. I don't, on Instagram, but let me stop. Let me actually stop the